everyone, and welcome to the GearyCast on the Sports Social Podcast Network and on Sport Direct Radio. I'm Alex Ashmore, not Matt Harrison, as you can probably tell. No rap this week. We're back with another episode. We're old formatting it today. We're going all the way through. We're doing news, preview, review, and then preview. Back just for the 1 week, just to get it all in one, and then we'll go back to the double podding next week. Alongside me today, I've got a Mr. Luke Chambers. Luke, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Alex. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. The weather's it's all right in Madrid. 20 degrees.
You cannot complain about any weather, you guys, at all. It does nothing but rain here. Rain, and it's 9 degrees. But we're hoping for some sunshine at the weekend.
Yes. Well, hopefully not too much sunshine, given the game that Cordoba played the week before when it was 30 degrees. That would be nice for us, but not for the players. Talking of someone in, very nice weather, I'm assuming it's better down where you are, Chris, than it is up in Madrid?
I don't know, mate. It's pretty dark outside now.
I assume you've been outside.
It's the sun shining.
You've been outside this week, though, at some point, surely?
This week I was outside, but today not much. So
okay.
It wasn't a bit windy.
Okay. Yeah, I think we had a little bit.
It wasn't so nice. It was maybe 18 degrees, 19 degrees.
Oh, bless you.
I'll complain. Here's Luke in
Chris, do you watch the Weather Channel down in the Costa del Sol?
Mate, do you have lights at home or not? You're sitting on
my app's telling me that it could rain on Saturday.
Yeah, good for you. Is it?
No, we don't want that. I need to be full geary at the weekend.
We were talking about that on the
rain.
I think at this point, when it starts to get really hot in Spain, a little bit of rain sometimes is welcomed, not for obviously the Brits coming over, but we were talking about it on the WhatsApp, how Matt said, I think it was the Ceuta game where he said, I went full geary. And Luke was like, yeah, not quite as geary as me, mate. We are back with another episode. As I said, we've got another week of Malaga football to go through for you. And, we're starting off with some news. There's not really a lot, actually. Me and Luke were talking off air just before we went on that, it's been a fairly quiet week, although what's felt like a busy week because of the excitement leading up to this weekend's game. So, I will jump straight into the first piece. 1,400 Malaguistas will be at Cordoba on Sunday. Tickets sold out in less than an hour. Went on sale at about 5 o'clock yesterday. Well, I say went on sale. It felt like it was meant to go on sale, but they were bloqueada, as it said on the website, blocked. And, I think all 4 of us were trying, or 5 of us were trying at one point. And I don't think any of us managed to get in there, did we?
I think it were your typical Malaga mess regarding the website. I mean, we all know what happened regarding the anniversary shirt. That was I don't think they used the word blocked, did they? Which just completely froze.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Chris ordered about 8.
Yeah.
Chris has got some
every day.
One every day of the week.
Chris, you're going to be sat on a gold mine thinking you can sell them shirts out.
I only paid for one, so I don't know how many I'll get in my own, or who will arrive at my own.
We'll see. It is a sellout. So Cordoba announced their own ticketing structure. So they gave us 1,400. They sold out. 700 went to Peñas. 700 went to normal other season ticket holders, and I believe Carne Malaguistas. Cordoba have sold over 19,000 tickets in just 3 days. They were also just for season ticket holders, and they said they would go on general sale on Friday, and, it hasn't reached that point. There will be no general sale tomorrow because they've all been sold. So
I was number 6,682 in the queue to get a ticket.
Really?
Was this 5 o'clock yesterday or whenever it was?
In the one time I got in the queue for Matt, I think I were in 680 or something like that. So I thought
I was 6,683rd or something like that.
I correct myself. Actually, it was Tuesday that they went on sale, not yesterday. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if at least 15,000 people were on that website trying to get tickets. No surprise. It didn't crash. It just sort of malfunctioned. Really, it just didn't let you in.
That's the thing when they put a time on things. Everybody's raring to go. I don't just mean Malaga. I mean any club of any kind. If you put a particular time on something, everybody's jumping on it ASAP.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, like we all know, the Malaguistas could fill out Estadio Nuevo El Arcangel on their own.
Yes, we got there. We were debating I mean, I myself feel like I should know better to be able to say the pronunciation of the Estadio Nuevo Arcangel.
Did it pass, Alex? Did it pass?
You did well. To be honest, it's one of the more difficult names to say out of Spanish. Really sold out. Should be a really good atmosphere, and hopefully whoever's going managed to get tickets. I know I'll be there, Chris will be there, you'll be there, Luke, and Matt will be there as well. We're all getting there every which way: train, bus, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Literally everything.
Yes.
We have literally tried everything to get tickets. I mean, it was a lot of hard work.
A lot of stress. I was sat at work on Tuesday.
A lot of stress. And definitely with Luke. And Matt as well.
Chris had a ticket. Chris had a ticket for Luke, and for some reason Luke wasn't replying. I was
in the gym and then driving.
You don't care where you are.
And all I saw on the chat was Luke FFS answer. I need your details.
My phone's always on silent as well, so it doesn't help. and then after 2 hours of chasing season ticket cards, Spanish numbers, everything, my penny then jumps and says, "Luke, you have a ticket." Like, what's happening?
Yeah, crazy, but we managed to get there in the end. You lads will be in the away end. I'll be in the. I mean, I don't know whether to call it a press box because I haven't been there, so I don't know.
Do you finally think you can one day pitch side or not?
Maybe. Who knows? I am getting my first pitch side experience next week for Real Madrid Cadiz, so maybe I can use that as a learning experience, and then hopefully one of these games, maybe playoffs. I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but yeah, sold out crowd. In other news, there's not really a lot, as we said. Some good news on the youth front. Ethan Marino captained Spain's under-18s against Switzerland, and Antonito came on later in that same game. I think positive. But neither of them have really had a lot of first-team game time, so I'm not too worried about them, potentially picking up any injuries. But I think positive news on that front, Luke.
Yeah, massively. I mean, it just shows how much potential this kid's got in his hand to captain the under-18s team. When you think the team, I'm sure we've looked at it before, and it's littered with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atleti youth players. I'm sure Antonito and Isa Moreno are the only two players outside La Liga juniors. But especially to give him the captain's armband, you can see there's a real leader there, and I just hope these players are going to be our players to enjoy rather than somebody else's players to enjoy.
Fingers crossed. Chris, are you happy with them playing international football? Do you think is a good thing?
It's a good thing. It's always a good thing to learn, and it shows when you pick players from a third-tier non-football in Spain that they have a big future ahead of them.
And obviously, Aaron Ochoa-Maloney played for the under-17 Irish team. I think it was the under-17s.
Yeah.
Earlier on this season. So, really good to see our youngsters getting a go at the international level. And like Chris said, I think experience is key at all ages, but especially the younger they are. And as you said, Luke, hopefully we can count on them in years to come. Well, that's all we really have for news. We'll go on to talk about, we have to do it, to talk about the 0-0 draw with Real Murcia. Should we go and talk about a fun game there, lads?
We certainly shall.
So, as we said there, we're talking about a 0-0 draw against Real Murcia, a team that we beat quite convincingly earlier on in the season, which what feels like a while ago, back in November, 4-1. It was 0-0. We'll talk about the game in a little bit. But, Chris, you were there. Believe Matt was off in Morocco, so missed it. So it was just you out of everyone. A good atmosphere, or did it feel a little bit flat? How was it?
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere. So thank you all, and we can go to the Cordoba preview.
Not quite that easily. Not quite that easily. I wish. We obviously had, I think it was 22,000 in the end.
It was a good atmosphere.
1,200 Murcia fans. Did they put on a good show, Chris?
I cannot tell you, really. They were there. They tried to make a lot of noise, but
Chris was too busy hanging out with the bloke who had the salad behind him. If you haven't watched
but you know, I'm in Fondo Sur, so it's difficult to hear.
You are completely the
other side. Fondo Sur, and everybody's screaming in your ears.
Chris, did the guys go who you went on their podcast? Do you know it all?
Did I go on someone's podcast?
No, you went on the Real Murcia podcast, didn't you? Early in the season. Did any of them go?
Yeah,
did you
I think I went. Yeah. No, I one of them went.
It's nice to see those memories are long lasting.
Yeah.
One of them tagged us in a picture. I forgot to respond. I'm sorry if you're listening.
As I was saying, if you haven't already and you want to really relive what was just an unbelievable 0-0 draw, go and check out Chris's matchday vlog, which in the content on the pitch, it was a very good video as usual, Chris. So well done on that front. It's nice to see matchday content, and I think especially for those who don't get out there and missing a bit of that summer sun.
Is this you starting to ask for a raise or what?
Again, sorry. No.
I'm just checking.
Do it for the love. Do it for the love.
The atmosphere was good.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the starting 11. I don't think there are any big surprises, really. Would you say, Luke, or you think it was a fairly, probably barring injuries and maybe Ramon? Yeah, if you're calling him fully fit, I don't know whether we are, but if we're ignoring fully fit Ramon, say he's not fully fit just yet, I think that was probably the strongest available 11.
Yeah, not too far off. I didn't really have any complaints. I just wait in anticipation for the team to come out, just hoping Ramon's starting. However, we've spoke about it recently. He can't be 100% fit, but still go back to where Linares at home when he came on at half-time after a year out, and you think, how did we get 45 minutes out of him and then 10s and 15s? But it was just a pretty standard lineup, I think. No too special about it.
Hasn't been working for weeks.
Say that again, sorry.
It's the lineup that hasn't been working for weeks.
I can agree with that.
It's the formation. It's everything. It's not working, and we're not changing anything. It's the same players every week, the same Kevin. It's ridiculous.
I think in terms of other options, if we look at our bench,
a lot of other options. Try a different system.
I think that's one thing that maybe we would like to see, especially as fans, just a little bit of variation, and maybe just something. I don't know, just try something else.
It's non-football what we play. Real Murcia came with one thing. Don't do a goddamn thing and try to survive. We defend, we let Malaga the ball, and if we're lucky, we score a goal. If not, everything's fine because we are going to defend in 0-0.
Do you guys think this was one of the worst teams to come to Loris Lady this season?
Not the worst teams, but the thing is, they didn't come to play football. They came to lose time, and they came to lose and to defend their 0-0. They didn't come to win a game. They didn't come to play football. And when you get the ball and you can't do anything about it, not create a big chance, well, except for one ball on the bar, it shows the problem of this Malaga. And you guys have been defending it for the whole season here, but you cannot defend this. It's impossible.
No, I think on that front, you look at the teams that we've played, especially the lower teams, the performances have been quite inconsistent in terms of 1 week. I think the two games that stand out for me is the 3-0 win away at Alcoyano and the 1-0 loss away to Melilla. Two teams that probably 3-0 should be the same for both results. Two teams that are very beatable. And it's just night and day, the difference between the two sides in terms of performance. And
I think the strange thing is if you was to actually sit and look at every result previously, when was the last time we actually put a performance on? I mean, we've had some convincing wins, like you just said, 3-0 at Alcoyano, but they had 10 men for what, an hour?
Yeah, and Granada was
I'd say probably the last one that I remember was maybe Ibiza. In terms of nitty gritty, it was maybe Huelva as well. Still, they did come back into it eventually. But yeah, I think I would just like to see a lot more consistency from the players that we put out as a starting 11, as you said, Chris.
I think the problem is Pellicer.
If I'm putting you in Loren's shoes, I'm assuming
you took pictures with him. I mean, you took pictures with him.
I did.
He's a very nice man.
He is a very nice man.
He's a very nice man. I won't deny that. I'm not saying he's not a nice man. But you were at the press conference. What did you think of the press conference, of his answers?
I mean, it does feel like, and I don't know whether I feel like it's just me, but I feel like I hear the same answers every week.
Yeah,
does he sound like his answers that he gives? Does he sound like a man that will bring you any prizes, that will get you promoted, or that will? I don't hear it.
If I'm being brutally honest, no, it doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. I think if you're looking at, especially the games, if I single out the games where we've drawn and potentially / definitely should have gone on to win, we've either not, the answers that he gave in terms of, we need to give that little bit more. When he's talking about the final third, he's impressed with the performance. You just get a bit sick of it. It's probably a bit too harsh, but you just get a bit fed up, really. Just sort of, it can't be the same every week. We need to give a little bit more.
Yeah, the players gave their all.
Yeah, it gets a bit tiring, and I'd rather him say, "Yeah, we were crap in front of goal. We need to do a lot better. I'm going to make some changes." I'd rather him just. I know this is being quite brutal about it in terms of what I'd like to hear him say, but yeah, it doesn't really interest me or excite me or motivate me in any way when he says, "Yeah, we need to give that little bit more." And
I don't want to give too much away from the article I was writing, which Alex was going to finish, and then 3 days left.
Yeah.
Probably didn't read it.
Chris's words will be in Rosaleda fans next week.
Yeah, but Alex probably didn't read it.
Not yet, no, but I will read it. I think I'm going to plan to send it out Saturday.
Okay.
Get there.
It is about that there's only 4 matches left. You have to change that, though. I put in 5 because I counted Cordoba in there.
Fake.
You're a professional journalist.
But I think you have 4 weeks left, 5 weeks now. to get to change whatever you can change and to get the form back. But I don't see Pellicer is understanding that it's not working or something, because he keeps. I think it's a bit too late.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't change it. Changing anything now in terms of managers would be stupid and rash.
Yeah.
I don't think it would do anything. I do think, though, however, if we don't go up through the playoffs this season, I would like to see a change of manager.
Because do you?
Saying he's leaving anyway.
Let's be honest. I want a very honest answer. Luke, I'll start with you. I'll start with you. Do you think going into the playoffs like this will get us promoted?
No, I don't. I think we are negative. We play far too slow paced, and a playoff it needs to be played at tempo. Basically, both teams need to win. I often think, have we got the right personnel to handle the pressure of a playoff situation, whether that's from the sidelines or the actual players?
Alex, what do you think?
Could you repeat the question? You cracked up a little bit just as I was listening.
Yes. If I give you 100 euros, would you spend it on alcohol, drugs, or women?
Probably be boring and put it in my bank account, save it.
No, Alex.
That doesn't sound like
Alex.
a student.
No, Alex.
Are you making me choose on the spot?
Yeah.
Alcohol. It has to be. Me. I'd have to buy cervezas, and on a lovely summer's day in Madrid, if you gave me 100 euros, it would get spent well.
I would spend it on.
We'll save that for another podcast. What you'll spend it on. Alex, his question was:
Are we confident? First alcohol, then woman. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe I'll first spend it on women and then spend it on alcohol to celebrate.
We've gone really Dutch all of a sudden.
Yeah. Okay, the question was, now pay attention. The question was, if we are going to the playoffs now, do you think we are going to get promoted through the playoffs?
No. 100% no. I give us a 2% chance. If we do, I'll be wholeheartedly surprised if we go up. I really don't see it happening. One, tactics, I don't think we face up well enough against other teams. We're too inexperienced. We do have experienced players, but they can't carry the team on their own. I don't think we have a good enough squad. We don't go about things in the right way in games. And there are some teams in that, I'm going to call it the North Division, that are just so much better than us. So, yeah.
I'll tell you this. The biggest thing we don't have is winner's mentality. The football we play is trying to don't concede a goal and hope we score one. That's the style we play most of the season. We don't have pace. We have a manager that I don't think his lineups are correct. Because when Ramon came in, he did amazing. He took Roberto off, which I didn't understand. And Kevin is back on the pitch, which I also don't understand because he doesn't bring a lot. While you have Ferreiro, which is a far more competent player, in my belief. So I don't really understand why. And he always brings Aviles on, which I also don't really understand.
Yeah, I really don't understand the Aviles one. I don't at all.
He doesn't excite me in any way.
And he has been saying for months how good Musa is and how much Musa deserves a spot on the team. And then he never starts with him. It's always one day.
Plays 15 minutes at the end of a game when, and he does well when he comes on, but
he does. But he always says in the press conferences.
I think you summed it up perfectly last week, Chris. I think you
Sorry?
summed it up perfectly last week on the preview show when we all found it funny when Sergio Pellicer came out and says, I felt I had to bring Musa on because he deserved it. If he deserves it, give him some fucking game time. He's good enough.
But he says it every week in the press conferences. Like, oh, Musa is so good, he really deserves a place in the team. And then you see Juande walking around like, well, he defends well, but then his building up is so dreadfully slow. I don't know. I've seen turtles walk faster than Juande with the ball on his foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, it's frustrating, and I think we could be here for hours voicing our frustrations. But there is a game.
Other frustrations to still talk about.
We've got a long way to go yet in the season, and there's a lot more time for us to voice those frustrations. First half, I don't think there's anything worth talking about. Going into the second half, I think I'll jump straight to it, really. Chris, should we have had a penalty?
Yeah, so clear.
You think so?
I mean, the whole stadium, it was so clear. I don't blame. I don't want to say like refs are against Malaga, not at all, because I don't believe that. I just think the quality of refs here in Tercera División is so bad. I don't even think they do it on purpose, but the things I see every week are just, and it's small things. It's just ridiculous.
It is. I mean, the standard of reffing, we'll get to the other decision in a minute that I think is even worse. It's just shocking. And Luke, you watch a lot more. I mean, obviously, I watch National League South, and there's some pretty shocking refereeing that goes on at that level. But you watch, I guess you could say it's not similar in terms of ability, but in terms of the similar level, third tier of English football. The reffing at this level is below par. I think that's probably a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, earlier in the season, I was a fan of it because they said to let the play go. It was like they cut out the niggly shit. But over the last 6 weeks or so, like Chris says, they obviously are not against Malaga.
No.
But some of the things what has gone against us. I mean, the penalty at San Luquenio we should have had. I'm just trying to think if we played the week after, but we could very much had a penalty there. Another penalty here. You start adding those points up. We effectively lost, say, 7-8 points due to shite decisions.
Yeah, but none of them were so clear as this week's penalty. I mean, even from the place I was standing, and I was far further away than the ref.
The thing what I'd find strange about this one is the player's 6 yards away from goal, about to shoot. Why the hell would he go down if there's been no contact? Surely that must even come into the referee's mind.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, when I first saw it, and there's different angles that make me change my mind. When I first saw it, I thought, no, soft, no penalty. But I think, to be honest, I'm erring on the side of still, I'm unsure. I think I'd have to look at it from a lot more, many different angles to get a proper decision. But I don't think it was so concrete that
the camera angles were awful on it.
Yeah.
I have to say that because it was very, very obvious.
I don't think it was concrete enough to be sending out a tweet saying that was 3 awful decisions against us. I wasn't asking Chris for the login.
When you look at the decision as well, the referee's in a perfect place. So whatever he believed he didn't see, he's stuck to it for sure.
He has.
But you know what I find the worst thing is these things happen in football and you adapt to it. How horrible it is. It gives you a shitty Sunday, but then everything is fine. But then 1,400 idiots celebrating like they just won the Champions League is just sad.
Yeah.
That's just the most saddest thing I've ever seen.
I mean,
I've never seen a crowd celebrating a non-penalty so much as Murcia's crowd. So I feel pity for them that they don't get to see a lot of football or nice goals or a lot of goals when this is the highlight of a match for you.
I mean, well, I imagine if you're coming to a game like that and it looks like your team is settling for the point, I think you'd be delighted with that.
No, but not the way you can be happy, of course.
Yeah.
I would, but they were like celebrating.
Yeah, I imagine
later they were celebrating again for the next thing that happened.
I think that's what I find with quite a lot of teams. To be honest, all the teams that play, other than maybe Castellon, Ibiza, Huelva, it's their big day out. They're playing Malaga. You know, we saw it with Ceuta. They were celebrating that draw like it was an FA Cup win or a Champions League win. It's their big day out. You know, they probably never played in a stadium. Those players have probably never played in a stadium.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if the people in Murcia went out of the streets like happened with Argentina after the World Cup and celebrated it. And they went to, when they came home, they got a, like Athletic de Bilbao, they went on a boat and go through the canals of Murcia with I don't know, with a picture maybe of the moment the penalty happened. And everybody in the streets is celebrating and singing for them. And the mayor the next day receiving them at town hall to say how great they are.
The strange thing about this Murcia performance as well is like these guys are just outside the playoffs.
Yeah.
They should have came with a bit of ambition.
Yeah.
You see, if I was a Murcia manager, I see the form that Malaga were on and think these guys are here for the taking. And
yeah,
a better team.
No, but they didn't.
No, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying if I was in their shoes, I'd see how Malaga are playing, and I'd say a better team, and I'll come on to this later. A better team tears Malaga to shreds and wins 3-0. And that's what I'm worried about this weekend.
Yeah, but I'm going to say something very honest. I don't think Murcia is going to make it into the playoffs.
No, I don't think they will. I'm just saying if a better team was playing against us last weekend, they would have battered us.
And I would also say, if I was Murcia, I would say, if we were get to the playoffs, I would say, no, thank you. Let someone else go, because
the Chris Marquez philosophy of football directing. I'm sure your fans wouldn't be too happy with that, Chris.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? It's cost money, you know.
It's true.
You did do that. If you invite me tomorrow for I don't know a pole dancing act in a club in Malaga, I wouldn't go either.
Yeah, I suppose it's slightly different, but I get your point.
Or if they would be me to, I don't know, here to the gym to give a workshop about getting fit, I would say, hello, Alex, what would you do?
I mean, if I was getting paid for it, I'd do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's free money. You did mention another incident, Chris, and I think for me, this is probably the more, I don't know how to put it really. I think this, of the two incidences, this is the one that baffles me the most. And I've watched it back multiple times. I've seen different angles of it, different tweets, different videos. David Ferreiro was booked for a second time, getting a red card for
hitting the ball. Yeah, I know.
It wasn't even a foul.
I have to say something. If you hit a ball that way, that ball could get hurt like very bad.
You got to take the ball's feelings into consideration.
Yeah, you have to take the ball, because he really went for the ball, and then he really hit the ball pretty hard. And unlucky for the ball was that he didn't touch the player, but he hit the ball. So the ball was very lucky.
Are you of the Chris Marquez school of thought there, Luke? Do you think it was a ridiculous decision as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other words than pathetic, if I'm being honest. I mean, obviously, I never watched the game live. I was trekking around the Isle of Man, but I've watched the highlights, and majority of the highlights had the referee in it. to me, when you're watching highlights and it's the referee, it means that you've got a piss poor referee, basically. But this second yellow card was so bad. He's nowhere near the player. But then the worst thing to come out of this, Malaga appeal the decision. They come back to us and say, although he won the ball, he made contact with the Murcia player. I am not having that. That I mean, I'm not being funny. Yes, we are stuck in the playoffs now. Cordoba is an important game, but it's not as it could have been. But if a player has to miss a game because of this, what standard are we at, really?
Yeah. It's
You know what the worst thing about this all is? That we're going to have to watch Kevin again.
I think a certain member of the Geary cast will be very happy about this.
You're just trying to upset Matt now.
Oh, really? I don't watch this.
I think he could do a job on the left wing.
Matt is always the guy when he's not in the podcast. You will ask him something about the podcast, and he always has the same answer. I was going to listen, but
I will end our suffering there. I'll wrap it up. It finished 0-0.
No, we don't wrap it up yet because Ramon came in, and that's when you saw the big difference. That's when everything changed for Malaga, because and this is key. I want everybody to listen. All the listeners, I want pay attention, because I don't know shit about football, but this is very true what I'm going to say. The biggest difference in bringing Ramon in is Ramon thinks forward. Every ball he gets, he plays it forward. No ball goes backwards, unless it really needed to. But 90% of his ball go backwards. If you give the ball to Kevin or to anyone else on the pitch, or always back and start rebuilding again, and then, oh no, too crowded. Let's get back again. That's the biggest problem.
Seeing him, you really see the gap in quality between him and the rest of the squad. I think he doesn't belong at this level. He's much better than this level. And
he plays with confidence.
Is fantastic to have him back, and I think the most we can get out of him before the end of the season's up, I think the better will be for it, and hopefully he can steer us towards promotion in the playoffs. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure for a young man, but no pressure, Ramon. It's all riding on your back, mate. It's all up to you.
Imagine having him and Aitam like the whole season.
Yeah.
If there's any chance of him making a quick recovery, get back on the field.
Because how many matches did Aitam play? 2, 3?
Not very many.
3 and 2 goals, I think it was.
How great was he in those matches?
Game changing.
If we could take a 50% high time into the playoffs, I would take that all day long. I really would.
We have probably the only positive of the game. I'll end your suffering there. I'm going to have to ask for a Chumbo and Biznaga. Chumbo, I'm going to go to you first, Luke. Who have you got?
Yeah, you saw 5 minutes of the match. Who did you choose?
Yeah, this is hard for me. So I'm going to go with the referee.
There's no need to call him out like that, Chris.
I'm thinking. Oh, what can I say? I can't really comment, Alex. Like the highlights. Fuck it, the ref.
The ref. Okay. The ref has got the first Chumbo. Chris, you watched the whole game from the stadium.
Yeah.
Who are you giving your Chumbo to?
Difficult one. I think Kevin was really bad. His defending was okay, but he's not a defender,
Yeah. No, I think
he irritated me.
To be honest, it was between him and probably. To be honest, you could probably give it to the whole midfield. I don't really think I saw much from any of them.
Joking Gabilondo was also off.
Did Roberto do much, guys? Just based on the highlights, didn't see. I know he
had the ball on the bar, didn't he?
I think it was another game of he's not getting the right service, but he's still running his socks off.
Yeah. Can't give it to him.
I'm going to give it to Ronaldo. I think just the more I see,
someone.
I don't know. It is like you said. Actually, it's actually quite hard because everyone played fairly average, but I don't think anyone had a real shocker.
I think Manu Molina was off as well.
Yeah, to be honest, the whole midfield, no one really offered anything. Biznaga
was quite stable, unless defense was quite stable, but Joaquin lost the ball too many times.
I mean, you say the defense is quite stable, but they didn't exactly have a lot to deal with, did they?
No, that's true.
Yeah, Biznaga. Who have you got for Biznaga, Luke?
My Biznaga was based on a conversation with Chris Marquez.
Ramon.
I asked for I obviously every week we do the fans Biznaga and the fans.
Was this conversation about 5 minutes ago?
the fans may have noticed that there wasn't one this week because Chris, being the only guy who was in the ground, I said, Chris, can you tell me the 4 best players of the game? He said, no, I can't. He said, no, I can't. There was no 4. So my Biznaga, based on Chris's advice, is no other than Ramon.
Chris, are you the same?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to break my rule this week and give it to Ramon. I don't usually give it to substitutes, but yeah. Just to quickly run through the subs, Ramon came on for David Rubia. David Ferreira obviously was sent off. So Canado came off. Dione came on for Roberto, and Manu Molina and Kevin Medina, I don't know why I called him by his full name, Kevin, taken off for Aaron Maloney and Juanpe, who, to be honest...
See, you've got players there.
Maloney also didn't do much.
Like
Juanpe, to be fair, is only on for 5-10 minutes. Didn't really see him.
We had a Juanpe.
Dione, again, very disappointing. But yeah, I think Ramon, he had half an hour. He's the best player we've had all season, and he's only played what?
He's not even, and you know who was warming up?
Who?
Sangali, and I was like, oh yeah, we also have Sangali.
I mean, there's a whole host of players on the bench that we have. That Javier Aviles, I'm not too bothered if he doesn't play. Lucas Sangali again, Carlos Puga again, Danny Sanchez.
Really great addition to the team, Carlos Puga.
Yeah, glad we signed him. Danny Sanchez, Diego Murillo, obviously Carlos Lopez. Not really a question in this sense, but the one that I would like to see more of, as you said earlier, Chris, is Musa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the only positive to take from this is Ramon's performance, and well, the 22,000 turned out. Credit to them once again. Magnificent crowd. That's it. That ends the suffering. We can go on to talk about more worrying things like Cordoba. But yes, Malaga drew 0-0 with Murcia, and this weekend they face Cordoba at the Estadio Nuevo Arcángel. And, well, let's go on to talk about it. So, we've got through the 0-0 draw. Now on to Sunday's game, which hopefully will be a little bit better. We're playing Cordoba away. We're all going. Should be a good afternoon. Is everyone... I know Chris said the last time you went to Cordoba you were 17. I'm assuming this is your first time in Cordoba, Luke?
First ever time. Always wanted to go. Really excited about it. I don't know if I'm overly excited about the 90 minutes. But either way, we're going to have a bad deal either way.
What's the phrase? They do say that the worst part of an away day is the football.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you have it. Chris, you last when you were 17. I'm assuming it's changed a lot since you last went.
Have you ever been, Alex?
No, I've passed through on the train quite a lot, but I've never actually been. So this is my first time.
Let me tell you one thing about Cordoba. It is a very old city. So if they didn't change anything for the past 3,000 years, they probably didn't change much in the last.
No, you're right. Actually, you're right.
21 years, I didn't go. It's a
fly the stadium's in the middle of absolute nowhere.
Yeah, but that stadium has been there for like 15 years or so since it exists in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a beautiful stadium. I know you will put some pictures on your Instagram to fill your Instagram up, Luke, but it's not like
Yorkshire footy lad.
Yeah.
I think that's my first ever plug.
Yeah,
you guys have all done it. You guys have all done so many plugs. That's my first ever plug.
Where did I plug for?
Yorkshire footy lad on Instagram. Follow.
Where did I?
You must have plugged something.
The only plug I have is a butt plug.
Oh, so, Jesus Christ. I know it's late at night, Chris, but it's not that late.
Right, let's talk about Cordoba.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the GearyCast.
Yeah. If you haven't already turned over to your next podcast episode, Cordoba. Well, we faced them once already this season, back in November.
Yep.
We drew 1-1. We had a man sent off, and as we were talking about earlier, a certain Haitam scored in the 86th minute to clinch a draw. Just looking at the squad back then, the starting lineup, we were playing a 4-4-2, and I actually think, other than two players, it was the same exact starting 11 that started last week against Murcia. We had a certain Loren on the bench. He's no longer at the club. He's signed for bigger and better things at Real Madrid.
Yes. How is he doing, Alex?
He played for the C team a few weeks ago and he scored. So
for the C team?
Yeah, for the C team, Real Madrid C, which is one below Castilla, which is the B team, which is one below the first team. So he's effectively.
But like, this is just a real honest question. Like, I don't know. You are a Real Madrid Employee of the Month. You went yesterday to Real Madrid Tennis Open Air.
Open air?
Open. I don't know. I'm not really into tennis. Is like signing with Real Madrid C. Is that a good place to go for your career, or?
For someone of his age and ability, no. I think it's more of a... He'll never play for Real Madrid. I'll say it here and now.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
He'll never play for Castilla, I don't think, unless he has a wild and wonderful change of form. He'll probably play for Real Madrid C for a while. He'll probably get released. He'll probably end up playing for El Palo or something like that in 5 years' time. When you sign for Real Madrid C, it's because you've been with Real Madrid for most of your life. You've grown up through, as they call it, the Fabrica. You've come through the academy.
We're just not good enough.
You're going up through the ranks. So if you sign from another club for Real Madrid C, I don't think it's a promising sign. So to be honest, yeah, you'll be able to go and see your local park. Say again, sorry.
With what kind of players is he playing? Like young people or people who never made it?
To give you an idea, Real Madrid C does not have a page on SofaScore, which SofaScore does pretty well for the stats. No, to be fair, Real Madrid C do have some promising, good young players, but these are all younger. They've been with Real Madrid all their life, some of them since like 6 years old. So they all have that Real Madrid in them. Loren's a new arrival. He's not that good.
And they are waiting probably for a chance to get to Real Madrid Castilla. Yeah.
And I know we're going off ball a bit, Alex, but was it Real Madrid C who had the big incident last season with the night out, where quite a lot of them got in trouble, were it?
I think that was Castilla.
Oh, were it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Castilla.
But yeah, I think, I can't see Loren making it. I don't think he'll play for Castilla. Maybe he'll play a few times, but yeah. So how do we even get on
that Real Madrid C, that the team is made of players that only have one skill, and they chose him for getting the ball from the air.
He does have an almighty touch on him, and you can consider that and interpret that whichever way you like. But yes, as we got on to that, I just remembered how we ended up talking about Real Madrid.
Yeah, no, it's just the AliExpress of Real Madrid, isn't it?
We drew 1-1 with Cordoba back in November. Since then, they've come on leaps and bounds. They're now second in the league, although they are 8 points behind Castellon, who have refound some of their lost form that they had that little dip earlier on this year. So Castellon currently sit top on 75. Everyone's played 33 games. Castellon on 75, Cordoba on 67, Ibiza on 63, and Malaga on 62. Ceuta on 56, just behind. And then just outside the playoffs, 10 points behind Malaga, is Recreativo Huelva. So we drew with them last time. Skin of our teeth. High time saved the day. I don't want to be Mr. Misery Guts, but I'm worried. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, the same. If you remember, we got absolutely played off the park in La Rosaleda that night.
I think that was it was before Alcoyano, wasn't it? I think up until that point of the season, it was probably our worst performance of the season, I think. From
and also for me, Cordoba, I've thought this for quite a long time. For me, they're the best team what's come to La Rosaleda this season. I thought they were much better than Castellon on that day. I don't mean over the whole season, but on that particular day.
Castellon was pretty good, to be honest.
It was, but I just thought Cordoba were great, attacking, quick, basically what we're not a lot of the time. But I know we were joking leading up to Christmas that we created this Cordoba monster. Since the Malaga game, that's when the form started. And in 2024, they've lost 2 games out of 16. I know our form's been okay in terms of stats, but these guys win games. They don't draw games. They win games.
You say that, Luke. Since that draw on the 5th of November, they've gone on to, and this is just a look at their form guide, draw, win, 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 draw, loss, win, draw, draw, win, win, draw, win, 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 draw, win, loss, win. So a lot of wins.
It's a typical team that goes to playoffs and then...
Have we lost, Chris?
Effectively, if you look at it since February, yes, we're on an unbeaten run, but I think we've drawn 50% of the games pretty much.
Yeah.
When these have needed to pick up form and really start a chase, as you've just said there, Alex, there's a hell of a lot of W's in the last, 10 games or so. I know they slipped up in the last home game against Alcoyano, which fucking gives us massive hopes for the weekend. Like, I hope we're singing and dancing and everything, but it's going to be a very, very tough game, this one.
It will. And I think, they'll obviously be fired up, sold out crowd. They know the test. It's a big game. It's against Malaga, 2 of the biggest teams in the division, arguably the 2 biggest teams in the division, perhaps.
I'm also going to say that as a away team with a lot of fans with you, that always, in my opinion, gives you a bit of advantage. I don't know why.
And you know how loud Malaga's going to be from the stands.
Well, it depends on you, Luke.
Oh, I'll be loud.
This is your first Malaga away match. If you're not loud, they're going to kick you out.
First away match.
You're not welcome anymore. This is the moment you have to prove yourself.
Me and the Carrick boys.
A few players to look out for on Sunday, whether you're at the ground or if you're watching on FEF TV. Fingers crossed, touch wood, the stream works. Maybe a little live stream from me from the stadium if the Wi-Fi works. Touch and hold out for that Cordoba.
Is that a very special?
That could be a very special thing.
We had to build
it. Yeah. So a few players to look out for. Goal scorers. Antonio Casas has got 13 this season. He's been one of their top players. He scores once every 125 minutes, which is actually not brilliant scoring stats. He's not got as many goals as
he scored.
When was the last time that he scored? Say?
I think he's been injured, Alex.
Yeah, so he's been, I read in the paper last week or a few weeks ago that, the start of the season he started off pretty poorly and wasn't up to standards, but really picked up as the season went on. But yeah, like you said, I think maybe we're finding him at not his peak, but hopefully we can deal with him, whether we play with... Actually, no, why am I even asking that question? Musa's not going to play on the weekend, is he? He'll come on 10 minutes to go when we're 4-0 down.
The thing is, these have got quite a few flary players, aren't they?
They do. Adelson with 7 goals, Kike Marquez 6, and just, I think if you look at their matches like we went through, they've, since the 4th of January, where they lost to Castilla, they've gone on to win pretty much every game other than 5, and they've lost just once, and that was obviously to Alcoyano 2 weeks ago. They beat Intercity 2-0 last week, and some of their results that they've had this season, they've won 4-0. There's a 6-1 in there against Atletico Madrid B, which I know, it's Atletico Madrid B, not the strongest team, as we saw Malaga made them look like prime Barcelona.
They went to Castellon and played them off the park.
Yes, so they played Castellon, and I think they're one of the form teams in the division. It's hard to doubt. If you look at the standings, if you look at the form, they are one of the top teams. And had Castellon not picked up form in recent times, I think they'd probably be closer to the top. A tough game for Malaga, and a few strong players there to look out for. Luke, your base there on Friday morning training. What's your message to the team for this weekend? What do you do differently this weekend? What do you change? Or do you change anything?
Personally, I'd like to see Malaga come out of the blocks, not just because we're there, but we start so slowly far too often. We've said it before, like Granada Bay, one of the famous games. There were 5,000 Malaguistas. You're thinking, get out there and attack, give them, they're singing your name, they're bouncing. We bored the hell out of them for 35 minutes. The same is going to happen at the weekend. The fans are going to be well up for it. It's a derby. I just want the team to come out. Just out of, I don't mean we need to be 2 and 3 up. We're not going to do that. But just show a pair of bollocks for the first half an hour.
Yeah. No, I fully agree.
Is that what happens to you when you go on stage and sing Electric Avenue?
The microphone comes to me, and then I just let the music go.
Can we do it one day?
You're speaking.
I'll do it Sunday.
You're speaking to Ben Almadina's top performer of the night in the karaoke bar. Chris.
It will be. I promise. The end of season do when we spend. What we got in the kitty? £4, is it?
Yeah, I think it's about £4.50. So we can buy a beer to share. So yeah. I think I agree with you there, Luke.
I only give you £4.50 to share with each other.
I think the money that we've made from.
I got £1,300 every week, mate.
Alex, just to follow up on that, in terms of personnel, I think it's time now for Dione to come back in. I don't think David Larrubia has done anything.
Would you play him in that position just behind Roberto as a sort of number 10?
Yeah, I'd personally like him to play really close to
Would you like to see Aviles one more match?
I hope I never see Aviles again. But I think we're all in the same boat as well. It's down to his condition, but I just pray we can see Ramon. Really do.
Like, doesn't Atletico Malagueño have like a striker? I mean, someone has to play in the striker position there, or
I've said this. I said this. There must be. We've got all this talent, these talented youth players coming through. There's got to be a striker, surely.
I think Anthony Martial's out of contract at the end of the season. If we are so bold, maybe we can afford him for an hour. Chris, what would you like to see on the weekend? You're Sergio Pellicer. What changes are you making?
I would start, but I would love to see, first of all, for the train to come on time. Second of all, I wouldn't like to see it rain in Cordoba. But I also don't want to be too warm, because in Cordoba you get a temperature which gets really high.
Is this you being Chris Marquez or Sergio Pellicer?
Yeah, I was going to say, control over any of these things.
To see nice food, smell a bit of the ambience, a bit of the tourism, the beautiful sights of Cordoba.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I would like to see. I'm also looking forward to loads and loads of very cool beers. I want to spend a good time with the Malaga fans, with everybody there. and then I want to see a football match where I see a lot of difference, a different formation, where maybe I hope Pellicer woke up this week and said to himself in bed, waking up, today is a new day. From today, we're going to do everything different. Instead of stepping out of my bed with my right foot, I will put my left foot on the floor first. And that change, bringing him to other changes where he would say, like, this formation, this is not going on. We're going to do it totally different. We're moving everything around. That's what I would like to see this weekend.
There
And
you
I
have
think-
it. An insight into how Sergio Pellicer woke up this morning.
Muy elegante, Chris. Muy elegante.
So, well, that's the sort of insight and journalism you get with us. You not only get insight and analysis on the game, you get live previews from Sergio Pellicer's house.
But
So, yeah,
no, but listen, if you look at this Malaga team, have any of you seen the Gladiator?
yes.
Yes.
Do you have a feeling like, I don't know what the guy's called in the movie, but
Yes. Maximus
you-
Decimus Meridian or something like that.
yeah, do you have the feeling like, he's going to eat the world? You have that in the movie, right? You think,
Yeah.
nobody fucks with him. When I see these 11 players coming onto the pitch before the match day, I already think the Lions are going to eat you.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 seconds.
Yeah. I know.
They're not Spartacus. They are not the Gladiator.
I'm
I
very
think
much.
against these guys, if we do start off slow, we could very easily be 2-0 down after 20 minutes. And I don't think we've got the personnel to chase a lead like that against a team as
No.
good as Cordoba.
When he scream when in the movie they scream Spartacus,
Mhm.
if you make a Malaga player do that, he would say Spartacus.
Kevin!
They would say Spartacus.
Yeah, that's the weekly film analogy. We'll have a picture of Russell Crowe on the front cover today.
You can
So-
also book me for events and things.
You can also book Luke for live.
Luke is sharing his thing. You can
I'll
book.
If you're so lucky, they come as a double act. Luke can sing and Chris can do his thing. I don't know what.
What a night.
I can do whatever.
What a night.
So, just to round up a few fixtures this weekend, the round of 34 kicks off tomorrow. I'm getting ahead of myself. Saturday, with San Fernando against Real Madrid Castilla. Then some more notable games this weekend. 12 o'clock on Sunday, Antequera host Ibiza. Castellón welcome Melilla. Obviously, Cordoba play Malaga at 6 o'clock. And then Real Murcia plays Ceuta in a playoff chasing clash. Obviously, Ceuta just getting that last place with their good run of form. Huelva playing Linares at 6 o'clock. And other than that, you've got Atletico Madrid B against Algeciras. And the other games are sort of fairly not really that essential for Malaga fans to look at. But you see those fixtures, you see who Malaga are playing. Chris, being realistic, what are your aspirations this weekend in terms of a result?
weekend?
And how do Malaga come out of this weekend? What are your realistic aspirations / expectations?
I think, and because I have my expectations are very low, other than I want to have a good time and I hope Malaga wins. But I would be happy with a point. But I think if you don't win the last 5 matches, we shouldn't even go to the play. We should play them, but there's no reason for us to play the playoffs.
Luke, are you of the same opinion? I think we should give the playoff spot to Huelva.
No, not give them away, but I think it doesn't make any. We won't make it.
The thing is, you see it in the UK so many times when, like our team, Doncaster, they've come out of nowhere, they've won 10 out of 10, hopefully getting the playoffs come the weekend, and that's how you enter a playoff chase. You smash it with some hot form. If we're stumbling our way through with 0-0 draws, granted, like Chris has just said, I will 100% take a point at the weekend, but we really need to start firing. It's taken 34 games for us to start hitting back at net properly. That's the biggest fear going into the playoffs. I think we're good enough at the back going forward. I don't think we've got that cutting edge to be beating teams. And then if your legs go through to a penalty shootout, I guess, I don't think we've got the personnel to handle that kind of pressure again.
Are you looking for playoff tickets, Luke? Are you that confident?
No, I've